Hello everyone, this is Hamza Yaqub from the Thinking Box podcast, and today we have a language expert with us. He has been in the language industry. He's been teaching English to students all over the UK. He has specially traveled to Pakistan for his project, Master-IELTS. We'll talk to him about it. Introducing Mr. Saadh, who has been in the teaching industry for around 6 to 7 years now, and he's been doing it really successfully, and we'll ask him about it. So Saad, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Yeah,
Thanks
that was
for
a very
being with
good
us.
introduction, and yeah, not a problem. And yeah, it's great to be here. It's nice to meet different people like yourself as well. So yeah, really nice.
Well, I mean, it's been an amazing time with you.
Thank you.
Because obviously, and you can judge from my English, it's not good.
I'm quite impressed. I have to say, I'm very impressed with not just yours, but everybody in this office. Everybody speaks well. They're very articulate. As an English teacher, what I find is naturally when I'm talking to people, I start just subconsciously correcting their grammar in my mind.
Yeah.
Or I'll listen to the range of vocabulary and stuff. Now again, mine's not great, or my grammar's not perfect either. However, as an English teacher, you start to develop these sort of habits, and what I've found is that even in the UK, there's many people, despite being native speakers, their range of vocabulary is very limited. Again, slang word is used more, and you could maybe argue the pronunciation of certain words is not as clear, but that could just come down to accents. And
again, I think it's a matter of preference as well. If someone tries to improve their English, tries to improve their language, they go into different territories. They try to learn different words, different expressions, and that's again a matter of preference and a matter of learning. So if someone is interested in that, if someone is doing that. So Saad, tell me about your project. Tell me about what was the name? Master-IELTS, right?
Yeah, Master-IELTS is the name we came down to. Again, it was a bit of took us a few days to try different names, and we thought Master-IELTS was a nice play on the word, master. So it could be seen as a pronoun.
Yeah.
Master-IELTS as a name, and then also as a verb. To master IELTS as well. So basically, just before I jump into what we're actually creating here, I just want to talk about IELTS itself for a bit. Not too long now. In my journey of teaching English, I also started to teach English as a secondary language, for students, for people that weren't, English wasn't their first language. So. I came across IELTS eventually, and I found this is a very, very big market. If you look at Pakistan especially, then you have majority of all of South Asia, and even the Middle East. Now, many people have the reasons for wanting to do an IELTS, whether it's immigration, whether it's to further education, to study in the UK or America, Australia, New Zealand, many other countries as well. Or it's for employment. Now this is a test that's known as a standard proficiency test all across. We're gonna have to put this bit out.
Please do, because a lot of people, I mean in Pakistan even, and all over the world, maybe they're not familiar that much with the IELTS test, and what knowledge that we get is first hand from different Bollywood movies. Speaking of Donkey, I know everyone has watched Donkey.
Oh yeah.
So in that movie, I think it shows that mainly the test that was given was just the speaking test.
Yeah.
We did not see other tests. So please, I think you should definitely guide the audience. What are the dynamics of IELTS? How does it work? What do you have to prepare for? What are the basics of it, or is it just something that you just have to go and give an interview and just clear, right? Yeah.
No, there's definitely more to it. Like you mentioned, speaking is one of the exams you have to take. There's also reading, writing, and listening. So you're basically tested on all levels of English, right? Your proficiency, and how well you can speak and write and read. So these are all important, and they all have their own elements. For example, with speaking, you might focus more on pronunciation and word stresses. It's a very technical term, but we talk about let's say the word heat,
Yeah.
Heat, heat. You heat something, you
Yeah.
heat some water. Now there's certain people, especially among Russians, where the word hit, H-I-T, they would stress the I, and it would sound heat. I heat the ball.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you know, especially with pronunciation, you know, it can get very technical, and you know, based on which language based on your mother tongue.
And speaking of pronunciation, is it the same for like UK audiences when you're talking about a student visa? Obviously, if someone wants they'll be taking the British Council IELTS. And
Yeah.
is it the same for Australia and other countries? Because
Yes.
Australia has a different accent altogether.
It does have a different accent, but obviously we teach you to overcome sort of these challenges, you know, and to be aware of what's actually expected with the speaking exam.
What are the nuances of everything?
Yeah, like your accent and your pronunciation. I mean, the more important part is your, you know, your mother tongue has an effect.
Yeah.
You know, for example, now Arabic speakers, they don't have the letter P in the alphabet, right? So their alternative to the P is B. You know, they'll say Bibo.
There's a Bibo.
Yeah,
Al
Bibo.
Pakistani.
Yeah, this is a pencil.
So we
you know?
Pakistanis, all Pakistanis in Arabic, yeah.
Yeah, we're Pakistanis. So, you know, again, I've worked with Arabic students, and it's about breaking that sort of habit, because for so many years they developed a habit, and now you have to break it. So now, as we were going into it, that's one element of just the speaking exam. Now, when it comes to the writing exam, which I feel is the most challenging for most students, is the grammar. Even as a native speaker, I forget grammar. You know, your antonyms, your synonyms, you know, of course, your full stops, capital letters. These are things you remember by applying. However, certain terminology which you don't use every day, you also have to kind of brush up on your knowledge of them as well. So when it comes to the actual writing exam, they want to see a variety of different grammatical rules used, right?
Yeah.
So,
and again, in order to be a good writer, you have to be a good reader. Well, again, it comes down to all of the basics. Like, if you have to be a good teacher, you have to be a good student as well.
Of course. Yeah.
If you're not a good student, you cannot be a good teacher. So similarly, if you want to be a good writer, you have to be a good reader.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, I think personally, what you do is more like therapy. Like, there are certain things. Yeah, it's really interesting. And I just got that idea in my mind just by listening to you, because you're saying that a lot of habits that I've already developed in terms of like speaking or writing, like people are doing for ages, like whenever they join school, and initially, you know, there are a lot of things that they do without noticing that this is wrong.
Yeah.
And then when they are, you know, at a mature age, they don't feel like it's wrong. So you have to sort of go about it and sort of, you know, make way to introduce some change and then correct them. So how does that entire journey look like?
So again, each individual's journey can be different, right? So we call them habits, bad habits. You know, you pick up bad habits and eventually they're hard to break. So really, you can categorize your students. For example, Pakistani, you know, like Urdu native speakers, they all tend to have common bad habits, right? And the same for, like we discussed earlier, with the Arabs. So I feel like, again, you know, as I'm going to get onto this project that I'm working on, you have to address all these issues, right? And these issues and these problems and bad habits that have come to light have all sort of come to light from experience, you know, from me going out there teaching a variety of different age groups and nationalities, and, you know, again, people that have various backgrounds and different languages. So from teaching them, you sort of pick up on, okay, these are some of the challenges you come forward to. And the beauty of teaching is, like, after your lesson, you can always look back and think, right, how am I going to be better tomorrow? What have I learned today that I can apply to tomorrow's lesson? So it's a whole process, it's a whole journey. And if I be honest with you, Hamza, this is what kind of brought me here, you know, from finding, you know, IELTS students, teaching IELTS students. I started to find the challenges. Now, the challenges that I found were, you know, again, it comes down to their preparation. So a lot of the students, they had full-time jobs,
Yeah.
or they have
That's
no
the most
parents.
difficult bit because obviously it's really hard to
Yeah,
sort of manage everything. You're doing your job
yeah,
and then you want to do your preparation as well. So
yeah.
it should be very flexible, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And the course that I'm offering is a
Yeah.
self-preparation online course, and the whole point is flexible. Now, with respect to our students, now, like I mentioned before, our students take the IELTS test for a better life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a better
Absolutely.
future. That's
Absolutely.
whether they have children or whether they're individuals. They have their ambitions and they have the rights to their own ambitions. Whether they want to go to another country to travel, or they want to study or earn money to provide.
And again,
for
just the
family.
fact that English is the biggest language in the world. I
Of
mean,
course, yeah.
it opens up a lot of opportunities
No doubt.
automatically.
No doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt, yeah. And even I've noticed among Pakistanis here, your people will always ask about your English proficiency.
Yeah.
They might not ask so much about your Urdu proficiency,
Yeah.
but more
No,
your English, because
Absolutely.
it's an international, globally recognized language spoken
Yeah.
in all countries. So
Absolutely.
what I found was, teaching my students as well, for them to come face to face. Of course, face to face teaching is the best option. However, it's not feasible for everybody.
For everyone, absolutely.
People have their commitments. Maybe they're working all night and they can't concentrate in the morning in their classes. So that was one of the challenges I come across. The second challenge, again, the financial burden.
Yeah.
Now, it makes,
That's the biggest one, I guess, and I've experienced
Yeah.
that as well. Yeah, when I was
Yeah.
giving the exam.
especially in Pakistan.
Yeah.
The financial burden. Now, people are saving money for a better future. Now, moving to another country, it's an investment. We both know it's an investment, whether it's for visa or even studying. Now, the cost of these exams are also expensive, and the thing is, if you fail the exam, you have to pay the same amount the second time,
The
or even
second
the
time,
third
yeah.
time. So, I had students who were very stressed because they had failed the first time. They didn't get the desired result
The
in order
first
to
time.
study. So it added more pressure on them the second time, financially as well. And I found there must be ways to sort of make something which is more affordable for them. Now, native English speakers tend to charge a lot of money. If they're based in the UK, most definitely they will. And again, preparation courses
Yeah.
are an investment for, likes of Pakistani as well. And people in the Middle East, they have to also, invest in this because they're
Yeah.
wanting to go
No, no.
abroad.
Absolutely, I think This
Yeah.
this is I think one of the biggest problems, especially for South Asian countries. Maybe not for the people in the Middle East, but again,
Not as
it's
much, yeah.
it's a big problem for South Asian countries. But how do you think that Master IELTS could potentially solve that problem?
The thing is, Hamza, now, again, you might say that there's pros and cons to a self-preparation course. You don't have that social environment. You don't have that hand-to-hand instant support. However, we've also made sure that you can always reach out to an expert tutor, and they can offer you support and whichever issues you may have.
So you have that facility.
Yeah, we have that facility as well. And if you get the gold package,
Yeah.
the gold standard,
Yeah.
then you get access. You can also interact with other members on the platform. So maybe other members can give their views and their feedback, and we may even look at doing something collective with all the members as well. Now, that's for the future. However, at the moment, we are looking to have some form of interaction among the members, so they can ask each other questions, they can help each other out. Again, I'm also available as a tutor, so you can always
Yeah.
drop me an email and I'll respond to you within a couple
All
of
right,
days.
all right. So there are some important questions, very popular questions that I would like to ask.
Sure.
People usually are very confused about the band.
Okay.
Like, what does it signify? I mean, I've given the test. I got around 6.5 band. So in speaking, it was maybe 6. In writing, it was 7. In listening, it was 6.5, and then on reading, it was 6.5. So
Yeah.
the average was, I think, 6.5. So how would you explain the band? What does it signify, and what is a good band for an average student who's looking for maybe a student visa for the United Kingdom? Yeah.
See, a good band, everyone has their own individual goals. Now, not everybody would need to get band 8. which is a really good band. You know, people in the
What's the
medical
highest,
field-
by the way? Like
9.
the highest someone has
9.
9?
9.5 actually, yeah.
Out of 10?
Yeah. Now everybody
Yeah.
has to study. You can't go in blindly. Like for example, your English is great, right?
Yeah.
However, you'd still
I don't
want
think
to
so,
make
by
sure-
the way.
I mean, this is
Really?
my assessment.
Yeah.
I think Hamza's a really good. He's very articulate and he speaks well. However, he would still need to make sure he's familiar with the exam. You
Yeah.
can't just blindly go in. You're like,
True.
you might blindly go into the exam tomorrow with no preparation and maybe get. I'm not insulting you. Let's just say if it was a 5, just purely out of
Yeah.
example. Now, if you prepared, you might bring it up to a 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's all about becoming familiar with the actual exam.
So again, I mean, hard work beats talent. You
Yeah.
can. Some people have that sort of flair in their
Yeah.
speech or whatever, but when it comes to hard work, you have to explore the vocabulary.
Yeah,
You have
of
to
course.
get into the grammar.
I mean, look, it's all frameworks, right? You know, you might know you might have all the knowledge and all the ability. However, theoretically, that's another ball game. And as you study to a high level as well.
Yeah.
You might know it's all about theoretics, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, what's correct.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
so it's more about learning what's required from you, and I know people who have really good English. I have a friend who from the UK.
Yeah.
Obviously, English is a first language. Went and studied in Bulgaria to do a
Really?
medicine degree. Yeah, a medicine degree, which we call here an MBBS.
MBBS. Yeah.
MBBS.
Yeah, yeah.
Now she had to do an IELTS, believe it or not, despite
Really?
the fact she studied in England and has
For Bulgaria.
she did her her medicine degree in Bulgaria. So again, her A levels would be straight A's, right?
Yeah.
Or A stars, the best.
Still, she needed IELTS.
And even still, she had to prepare for it.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, that
It just shows that you
Yeah.
still have to take some time out.
yeah,
and prepare for this.
absolutely.
So,
So, what would you say would be the right time for a student to start your course? Like, if someone who is planning to go to the United Kingdom, when should they start, or what's the length of duration of the entire course? Like, is 3 months okay if someone studies for 3 months?
Ideally, you would want to maybe try and set a target for yourself to do it in 3 months. Now, we do a diagnostics test, so we will help students out, help students understand exactly how long we feel they need. So.
Alright.
If they're learning from scratch.
So again, it's tailorized.
It has
It's
to be tailored.
personalized according to the needs
Yeah.
of the person. Someone could do it in 1 month,
Of
where
course,
someone
yeah.
could take up to 6 months, right?
Yeah, but there is a lot of content in our course. So if you did it in 1 month, maybe you'd have to do it as full time. Spending maybe 6 to 8 hours a day if you're really committed to go through all the content.
Yeah.
However, I would say maybe 3 months on
Yeah.
average, or even a bit longer. Now the thing is, our course is, even if you don't need to take the IELTS exam, it's going to benefit you regardless.
Yeah.
We will be introducing vocabulary courses as well in the future. So the whole idea would be, okay, we help you get your desired band grade for the exam. However, you might want to stay on and keep studying it, use it as a tool to sort of to keep improving your English, So all this information is also helpful for people just wanting to improve English.
All right, brilliant. Saad, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
It was a complete honor. You came to
thank
Pakistan. You came to our office. This brilliant project that we're working on
thank
together.
you. Yeah, we're working on together.
Yeah, and I actually pray that it becomes really, like it becomes one of the top contenders when someone is looking out for an IELTS course here.
Yeah.
So with that, we would like to say goodbye. Do follow our channel, subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll be providing you with more updates. Thank you so much.
Thank you.